This video describes the difference between a rough draft and pre-writing. This is a common question that I get from students about what these are, like how are they different? How are they not the same thing? And so I wanted to take just a few minutes and describe the difference between the two. So first of all, there's simply different stages of the writing process. So the writing process includes pre-writing, that's the first step, that's thinking through your ideas, drafting, where you develop those ideas, revising and editing, that's where you're taking and you get feedback, then you go back and you rework it and you're making it strong, you're looking for errors, you're rearranging things, and then eventually after that revision and editing you get to a final draft. So pre-writing is the first stage, a rough draft is the second stage. So they're really different parts of that process. As I mentioned, pre-writing is it's brainstorming, it's organizing basic ideas. So it's literally just thinking about what you want to write. Maybe you jot down a list, maybe you create an outline of some sort. Maybe you even talk through ideas with someone else. Pre-writing is all of those components. It often includes some sort of organization, like you want to start thinking about, oh, well, if I write about this idea, what order would I put these points in? But it's not actually writing out like a full essay yet or a full paragraph. It's the basics. It's often using phrases instead of complete sentences, though you can use complete sentences as well. And it's sometimes it's just a bit messy. It's your ideas. It's just getting things out there. Drafting is where you take those ideas that you come up with and you actually put them into the project format. So if you're asked to write a paragraph, you would actually put that idea into a full paragraph. If you're asked to write an essay, a full essay. If you're asked to do something like a reading chart, you would put it into the chart format. Letters, same thing, into letter format. It's where you would be fully developing out your ideas. Now, it's the first draft. It's a rough draft. So it's not meant to be amazing or perfect or strong yet. It's okay if it's still a bit messy and clunky and disorganized, but it's taking shape. It's actually in the form that you're trying to get it to. Again, that essay, paragraph, etc. Really important when you're drafting that you are using complete paragraphs, complete sentences, that you're paying attention to whatever format it is. So for instance, if you're asked to do MLA, make sure you formatted it as MLA. If you're asked to do a letter, make sure it looks like a letter, etc. That's sort of that first rough draft stage. Rough drafts are in essence just more developed than pre-writing. It's taking those basic ideas and fully fleshing out your thoughts about each one, right? Getting into the weeds, getting into the details. Pre-writing also should really only take a short amount of time to do. I would say somewhere between 10 to 30 minutes is a good kind of guideline. If you're doing more than an hour on pre-writing, I'm going to be blunt and just say you're overthinking it. It shouldn't be that much time put into pre-writing because you're going to continue to develop and think through your ideas as you draft. You're not going to come up with everything you want to say before you say it. Pre-writing is just to get you started. So don't take too long on that stage. When you get to the drafting, that's where it can take multiple hours because you really are trying to flesh out those ideas. So in terms of time spent, pre-writing should not take as much time as drafting. But I also want to emphasize that when you're drafting, don't get caught up on things like perfect punctuation or trying to make sure that everything grammatically sounds correct. You can do that later. That's not the point of drafting. Drafting is developing out those ideas, so don't worry about making it sound exactly the way you want. Just worry about getting all that information into the correct form. So hopefully this helped kind of distinguish the difference between rough draft and pre-writing. As always, any questions, please ask, and have a wonderful day.